5 of Three Speech Podcast. I'm here as ever, this time not coming from the Vauxhall Comedy Podcast, but coming to you live and direct from all over the place. I'm here with Leo, Hate Crime Kearse. How you doing, Leo?
Hello, I'm good.
I'm here with the Beijing sensation himself, looking fresh. And this time featured prominently with a camera, not having to be cut away. It's Mooch. What's up, Mooch?
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning.
All right, well, guys, how's it going? We're now free from the tyranny of lockdown to live our lives as normally as we like. How's everyone doing?
Well, we're not really free from lockdown. I mean, you're free as long as you want to sit outside a pub and drink out of a plastic glass.
Yeah, comedy has not been given the free reins. It's been curtailed again. I'm not sure.
And you got to hand over your details to get a pint. That's not fair. So there's no freedom.
Yeah, Darius.
You've got to have a vaccine passport.
Yeah.
Mooch, are you going to have vaccine passports at Vauxhall Comedy Club? Are you going to demand to see people's papers when they come in?
I will sell Vauxhall. I will sell passports at vaccine passports at the Vauxhall Comedy Club. I don't think we're going to be too keen to adopt them. But I
want a European Union one.
Well, we'll see.
And you can go anywhere in Europe with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it also means if you got a European Union vaccine passport, it means you haven't had the vaccine.
I want.
You see, Mooch is doing the. Mooch is laughing when one of us cracks
I don't get it. I
would
laugh. I would laugh if I understood it.
Europe has a shortage of vaccines at the moment.
It was a political joke.
Okay,
yeah, because they screwed up the vaccine rollout. They didn't because they're a big bureaucracy. They didn't move quickly enough and put the contracts in place and get enough vaccines. So now they're all still they're still in super mega lockdown. At least we've come out of lockdown a little bit and go. We can sit outside the pub. They can't even sit outside the pub.
Do the joke now and I'll laugh now. So do it now. I understand it.
So the European Union vaccine passport means you haven't had the vaccine or something.
It's a good joke, man.
Oh,
great.
This guy's killing it.
Woo!
Still got it.
Woo!
I can't wait for live comedy to start up again. So yeah, I guess we should go through the topics, the things we're going to be talking about, make it look as if we've got some sort of structure to this. So we're going to be talking about the Edinburgh Fringe. It's been announced that it's going to be on in some capacity, but not like a normal Fringe, because a normal Fringe everybody's crammed into these tiny rooms, sometimes as many as 6 people in the audience for one show. We've also got the Black Lives Matter founder has, despite being a Marxist anti-capitalist, has decided capitalism is all right and has bought 4 houses, building a property empire there. We've got Prince Philip's death, so we're going to be paying tribute to him in the best way possible by looking at the funny stuff he said. We've got Brian Rose running for London Mayor, the mental Spider-Man baddie. And we've got Hank Azaria from The Simpsons who voiced Apu. He said he wants to apologise to every single Indian person, which is going to take quite a long time. But if that's what he wants to do, he should get sponsored. He should get sponsored for comic relief.
I hope he thanks every single one of them in an Indian accent. So it just goes,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And does the head nod?
Yeah.
Does he?
I'm not associated with Mooch. Nothing to do with me.
I'm Asian. I can say this, right? Stop Asian hate.
And yeah, we've got questions from some of you out there, and we've also got the scam of the week.
Have we actually got a scam of the week, or is this something I need to do? It? Oh, you got a scam?
I've got loads of scams. So I've got loads. Do you want to know a scam? Don't pay your TV license. Don't pay your TV license. Why would you pay a TV? What? You don't have to pay for it.
Can I interject? People want real scams. You telling me not to pay my...
I just did.
Most people have figured that scam out for themselves. They want the good stuff. The stuff that I
No,
deliver.
there's loads of people out there still paying for their TV license, and you don't have to anymore. They can't take it. All they can do is.
Can I just wait?
All
Can
they
I
can do
just
is send you letters.
Can I let me just interject? Well, before we do that, anyone listening or watching this podcast, I guarantee is not paying their TV license. The scam is useless to them. That being said,
No, most people
Nico,
pay their
I
TV
got a
license.
better scam, Leo.
Yeah, what's your
Don't
scam?
pay your child support. That's great.
do we have an actual real scam?
Should we save the real scam?
So it's that one. Also, I've got another one. There's this thing called YouTube Vanced.
Hair
Right.
transplants in Turkey,
you can-
that's a scam.
You can download it. Right? So if you're paying for Spotify, I'm saving you £300 a year here. I've already saved you £150 for your TV license, and I'm saving you £150 for Spotify. So like,
How did
basically,
you find out about this YouTube Vanced?
I'm on the dark web and stuff, and
Okay.
I'm in yeah. But like, so YouTube Vanced, you got to go to the website. It's not on the Google Android Play Store. You download this thing, YouTube Vanced. It gives you basically YouTube music, which is better than Spotify music. It's got more variety. There's stuff that you search for that doesn't come up in Spotify, like the Aphex Twins remix of Philip Glass Heroes, or Money Mark. Money Mark isn't on Spotify. Weirder and rarer stuff is on this YouTube thing, and it's free. With the YouTube Vanced thing, it's free. It's just like Spotify, but better, and it's free with the YouTube Vanced.
But what about people who don't have Android phones? What about like
I think it's
normal people?
I think it's also available on iPhone. You can.
What?
think
Can I
read
just
you
go
can
on
scam.
Google Play Store?
No,
No, you got to go to the
YouTube
actual
Vanced.
website.
You got to download
YouTube.
the APK. Vanced, VANCED. Leo obviously found it because I told him about it. One of my greatest scams. I'm the scam king. I live for scams.
Yeah, Darius is the scam king.
But being as we've got YouTube Vanced, that's actually good. So you get YouTube Music for free, and you also get YouTube. So with YouTube, you get no ads. You can watch picture in picture.
already
It's
free.
great. YouTube Vanced. I recommend it highly
Do you know why Darius is the scam king?
because I'm Iranian.
No, it's because you don't have any money. So if you want to do anything, it's got to be free.
Well, I mean, that is partly true. But even when I had money, I love scams.
There is something about just like getting something for free. Food tastes better when it's someone else's food. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's just
If you get taken out for a free meal, then it's better than if you like earn the money and go out for a meal and spend the money on the meal.
But also, it's about a fair price. See, if, for example, Netflix, all of that, if they offered me a fair price all in one service, I'd pay for it. And I do on an illegal streaming website, right? I paid for no adverts for the year, and I've got every single thing I ever want to watch ever. But it was a low cost price of like $29.99 instead of $9.99 a month. So I went, I'll pay them and take their scam. I don't mind. I will pay if it's a fair price.
how do we scam that scam? How do we get the free thing? Well, the $29.99 for free. Is there a way of?
Well, they
Torrents.
actually offer it. They offer it. Actually, offer is lookmovie.io with ads and pop-ups, but their diligence, their dedication to pirating material that's come out that I really want. I admire. Listen, for no reason, anything I want, they've got it on. The new Patrice O'Neill documentary. I was like, couldn't find it anywhere. Obviously on my scam website. Bam, it's like, and it just came out, and they've already torrented, uploaded. I mean, I respect
But that was
dedication
on
to piracy.
Comedy Central, man. You just
Yeah,
gotta get
and
VPN.
it was No, it's on my illegal website. That's what I'm saying. And their dedication to getting all the content I want, it's on. As soon as Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, it was up on their website. It's amazing. Respect.
I think you're sort of defeating the point of piracy if you're paying for piracy.
I disagree.
I'm supporting them.
I disagree. Yeah. These pirates need to eat. Like, support the arts of piracy.
Yeah, I support pirates. They're offering me a fair price. You know what it is? YouTube.
Is this on your phone?
No, this is
run
on
it
the
through your
laptop.
phone?
I watch it on my TV. Watch it whatever I want. And the thing is,
Are you
Netflix
more
is-
likely to get viruses though?
There's no viruses, man. You can stop being a pussy.
Just get a jab for that. We got a passport for
Hey-o. No, it's great. I respect them. And Netflix could have had that money if they matched that price, but they didn't. So I said, fine, I'll pay them. So they don't want my money.
I never feel
take
bad
it to someone
about.
else.
Never feel bad about like pirating like movies and music and stuff like that. Like maybe certain bands, but like I only pirate stuff from like film studios and film producers that are richer than me. You know what I mean? To make it fair, you know, if somebody really needs the money, if it's some like
producers.
little band, yeah, all film producers. You ever see like, some film? Oh no, he can't afford to build a, have a extension put in his swimming pool. You know what I mean?
So
like,
what
that breaks my heart.
Pirated your comedy special when it comes out, Leo? How you feel
They
about
shouldn't. No, because I'm not rich, so it doesn't work. Like I'm saying,
you're a politician, mate.
Stuff. Yeah,
you're the king of Scotland
because of it.
You're the king of Scotland.
So I'm never getting booked by the Stand again, which is owned by the SNP. You know what I mean? It's like, honestly, what? It's like China.
Is the Stand?
It's like communist China up there. Yeah, the Stand. You know, the comedy clubs in Scotland. They're owned by Tommy Shepherd, who's a millionaire SNP MP. So yeah, basically that's why. Because I was always like, man, why do no Scottish comedians ever say anything bad about the SNP? You know, all the comedians slag off the Tories, slag off Boris and stuff. They never do it about the SNP. It's because if you do that, you never work in live comedy in Scotland again.
So
as I'm finding out now, somebody could have told me before. I never did this. Like I did the trial thing, but they never booked me. Have I frozen?
Okay.
Oh no, I'm back. No. So yeah, like the Stand. I mean, I think they definitely won't book me now that I'm like running against the SNP and calling the SNP dicks.
As soon as this get puts out, somebody Premier Pro clip that. Boom.
Oh, it's going to be funny when live gigs start up again, and then all the comedians have been like, all comedians have been sort of slagging each other off and trying to get each other cancelled. Then we're all going to be sitting in green rooms together again.
Crabs in a barrel mentality, man. Everybody fighting for them spots. Crabs in a barrel.
Yeah. 100%.
Tell us about that football match, man, with the Iranian woman. That's hilarious.
So Tottenham Man United, big Premier League game, was shown live and direct in Tehran. However, it offended the local sensibilities. So because it had a female referee, so they cut away every time the female referee was shown, which in my opinion was the right thing to do. We don't need to be seeing this filth on television. A woman, that's disgusting. That could influence local Iranians into having the crazy mindset that women could officiate Premier League games. We can't be having that. It was disgusting.
They just clipped her out, or they blurred her out. How did they do it?
They just, as soon as the camera went to her, like in a mat, they just cut away. So it's
what
like
did they cut to?
What did they cut to? Like, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Like a long shot of the pitch, so you couldn't see her. They just zoomed out. So you didn't see her. At any point you did. Well, they superimposed with Photoshop a hijab on her, and then that was how they did it.
They did it in Saudi Arabia with they put black bars on the female athletes because you're not allowed to show like exposed flesh or something, even if it's going through a shit Saudi Arabian television. It's still
they should draw like mustaches on their faces. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I grew up in Saudi Arabia and we used to get loads of pirated films, but they were all censored by the Matawa, like the religious police. So you'd be watching a film and it should be like an hour and 20 minutes, this film. But if it's something like Basic Instinct, it's like 25 minutes long because all of any scene with a woman naked in it is just cut out. So you're watching these films just going, I have no idea what's going on. It's similar to like, you know, when you're on a plane.
Porn must be shit over there, man.
Terrible. Well, yes and no.
Apparently, they've got the highest porn consumption is in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. And probably, I think, as well, the highest gay porn.
If they're cutting out the women, I think it's terrible.
I actually
see some tits.
We watched the film Arachnophobia. It was on the days of VHS, and we borrowed it from a friend of ours. And I was watching a film on my own, and I kind of got distracted. And the film ended, and then about 5 minutes later, sort of like a secret track on an album, this hardcore porn just started like showing up on the screen. And I'm like a 9-year-old kid. I'm not sure what to do with it, but I kind of like it. And but it was, I never returned that video. Arachnophobia was one that we kept at the house for a while.
Good video.
How old were you when you left?
Saudi.
Yeah.
Kind of, probably about 10, 11, just before I went to sort of like secondary school. But my dad worked out there, so I'd always be flying back and forth. Hence my tan.
On oil or something?
No, he worked in building offices and stuff like that. He'd been there for years and years and years.
What was
Holy
Saudi
shit,
like
what's
to
his
live in?
face?
Saudi was all right, you know. I mean, as a bloke, it was fine. For my sister and my mum, it was a bit restrictive. But everyone lives in compounds. You're all hanging out with sort of expats, and it's all right. It lacks a little with things to do though. Once you get to sort of your teenage years,
Alcohol is banned over there, and I guess like all kinds of pubs and things like that.
No, not big pub scene in Riyadh. Funnily enough, but everyone makes their own booze. So you'd have like people would make their own wine and ferment their own wine and make Siddiqui. And also, if you were friends with someone who worked on one of the big
prisoner cell block H.
It is proper cell juice sort of stuff. Or if you knew someone who worked in like the big oil fields that were kind of shield off, they all had booze, but it was very expensive, like for real, branded alcohol.
So wait, Darius, there are no female sports leagues at all over there?
No, there's an Iranian women's football team, but they have to wear like hijabs when they play and stuff. They just
Do they have like, so it's not shirts and skins?
No.
Yeah, how did the swimming team get on?
They
wear
they basically
they wear those bikini things.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they cover themselves up.
Okay.
But wasn't there like some swimsuit that gave you an advantage anyway? That was kind of like head to toe because it was made of some material that went through the water quicker.
It was like shark scale material or something. So it it had some sort of aerodynamic abilities.
There was an Iranian woman who wanted to play chess or something, and she got into trouble, wasn't it?
Yeah, she emigrated. I think you're right. She emigrated to America. Now she's like the chess champion, but she's Iranian, but she's repping America.
I said I remember it being quite controversial when she switched or something. Iran wouldn't let her play because she didn't want to wear the hijab or something. I don't know.
But Iran's a very progressive place in some ways because, like, they've got the highest, by far, the highest level of transgender transitions, male to female transitions in the world. Because being gay is illegal, so every gay man just gets like a gun put to his head and told, "You're a transgender woman now, and you're going for this operation."
Yeah, they have that choice because we're progressive.
Yeah, I mean that's basically wokeism.
Yeah, but that's actually what happens. That there's the thing is, you'll know this, Mooch, because there's no gays in Saudi Arabia or in Iran, ostensibly.
There are.
Yeah, but there's no
openly
they can't go
gay.
down. They can't go down to the Blue Oyster, right? So the point is, the culture there is so gay. Like they'll happily like Justin Bieber and walk hand in hand. So you'll go into like this teenage boy's room and they'll like have loads of pictures of like topless Justin Bieber up. You're like, this is a little bit gay. No, it's not gay at all. I'm now gonna go out, hold hands in the street and kiss my male friend on the lips. So I think that's a little bit gay.
Yeah.
Is it like that in Saudi?
I was talking to this.
Yeah, I
was talking to this gay guy in Egypt
all the time. Sorry, go on, Leo.
I was talking to this gay guy in Egypt, and I said to him, like, is it not hard being, like, gay here, like, when, you know, it's such a sort of homophobic culture? And because he was Australian. And he said, no, it's easier for him to get laid in Egypt than it is in Sydney, in Australia. Because he says, like, everybody, even though they've got this homophobic society, everybody's at it, everybody's bumming each other, because you can't, like, basically, you can't have sex. Like, you can't... unless you're married, you know, if you've got a wife, you can have sex, but there's very little sort of casual sex because it's really, you know, strictly frowned upon. Then prostitutes are, you know, few and far between, are really expensive because of the risks, obviously, that they have to take. So it's not like the permissive West where, you know, people are, you know, boning a lot more. So he says there's this culture of all the men, like, you know, sort of bum each other, wank each other up, but they being gay. It's like this sort of, you know, weird sort of...
Yeah, what's gay about bumming or something?
You're breaking up there, man. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I've got a call coming through.
Well, maybe turn your phone off. That would be the best thing to do.
Leo's getting bummed.
What did you call them? The Mutara.
Matawa. The
Matara have come back.
Yeah, they've got him. There's a female referee who's gone onto Leo's screen, and we've had to cut the scene. Leo is back in the room.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Should we talk about there's Prince Philip has died? I don't know if anyone's heard about that. Breaking news that happened this weekend. We've got some of his best quotes, like of his gaffes, so to speak.
Can you read the gaffes out, Mooch?
I can. I'll just bring them up. We went through a few of them, and these are the top 10. To a multi-ethnic Britain's Got Talent winner, 2019 diversity, he asked, "Are you all one family?" To the president of Nigeria, who was dressed in his national dress in 2003, he went, "Oh, you look like you're ready for bed." This one's classic. To a female solicitor in 1987, "I thought it was against the law for women to solicit."
That's a good joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what we sort of came to the conclusion of. Like, he's just not got that filter. He would be a great comedian. And
he'd be a great MC.
Yeah.
He'd just be roasting people, man. He'd be a great MC, man.
And it's got to be great to be like, it's got to be great to be, at that level where you just don't have to, care anymore. It's like, I'm king. I know I'm called Prince, but I'm basically king. I'm shagging the queen. I'm basically king. So you can't cancel me. I'm the king, baby. So you can go and say all that stuff. But apparently he was much loved. People really liked him. Other people Prince. What's his name? What's the nonce one? Is it Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently Prince
Allegedly.
Andrew was a fan because he was. I used to work. I don't think there was any allegedly about it. But I used to work for BAE Systems, which I think they had him as some sort of because he was a trade ambassador for the government, so he'd go out to Saudi Arabia and wherever and try. And apparently he was terrible at it, and he was terrible at it, and really self-important and just shit. It was he's bad at it. He only got the job because of who his mum is.
Nepotism, yeah. To be honest, that's how most royals get their jobs.
Yeah.
In 1995, to a Scottish driving instructor, "How do you keep the natives off the booze long enough for them to pass the test?"
And what was the answer? I mean, that's a serious question, I take it.
I don't know. "You are a woman, aren't you?" he asked a Kenyan in 1984.
See, he was progressive. He was ahead of his time. If he said that now, that'd be like a... You know what I mean?
He was checking out.
He's using the right pronoun.
He's making sure he uses the right. You son of progressive. That's fine.
To Susan Edwards and her guide dog in 2002, "They have eating dogs for the anorexic now."
They have what?
They have eating dogs for the anorexic now.
This man's a gangster.
He's
hilarious.
Zero fucks given. At a Bangladeshi youth club in 2002. "So who's on drugs here? It looks like as if he's on drugs." It just points to a guy.
I'm telling you,
right.
all of these are MC antics. All of them.
Well, that's apparently why he said it. Apparently, he was doing it because he wanted to loosen up the atmosphere and make people like him. But obviously,
and in a situation like that, that's exactly what you need. You need somebody who does it. Otherwise, it's just and because these events go on for hours and hours and hours, and you're sitting there in all regalia, trying to sit and watch something and clap, and all the rest of it. So having somebody there is pricking the pomposity. That's brilliant. I mean, Gaddafi did it well as well.
People always moan that, "Oh, these guys are millionaires. They've got the best life." It's not. I'd hate to be a royal, and I think that's something that Harry and Meghan have. No, I don't think you would. I don't think
I'd
you
like
would.
it.
No,
I think
honestly,
I would.
you wouldn't.
Well, what about being a royal? Yeah.
I don't think
I'll give it I'll give it a crack.
Yeah, what about
I'd
being a
have a
royal
shot.
and like not Britain? Because Britain's the worst place to be, some sort of politician or prime minister or royal or something. But if you're like king of Libya or something like that, man, your salary is like millions of times more than it's going to be in the UK prime minister salary.
your salary
just
in Libya is the GDP of Libya.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, totally. And everyone who lives in Libya is yours. You know what I mean? And you've got assassins, and you've got any palace you want, anything you want from all around the world. You got like homes all around the world and stuff. Man, you're living the dream. It's amazing.
There is an innate risk though of you being Gaddafi'd and just getting turned into a puppet.
Just don't piss off the American
be a
government.
royal over here though. 100%.
I don't know.
To not have to work a day in your life, like properly work, I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and even though they do kind of work, but it's like it's easy work. It's turning
up. Events, man. That's just
Yeah, it's events. Cutting the ribbon on a supermarket.
Cut ribbons and wave at people.
If you wanted to let loose, and really go for it, you gotta think about who you're partying with, because everyone's out to get that snap of you doing a line of coke or having sex with an underage girl. There's too much pressure.
Yeah, but that's why you do it loads. And then girl.
If you're a royal, I assume it's part of the course.
You do it, yeah. You kind of got to, but you do it loads, and then the press just get bored, and then they stop taking photos, and then you can just go about your day.
I'm not so sure.
I think the royal family are done anyway after the Queen. That people are against. I mean, a lot of them are for it, but I mean, I think the royal family should be done when the Queen dies. Oh, because that's I personally am against the monarchy, but that's actually what my friend said to me. He said the thing is, if you get rid of the Queen, then you're gonna have some idiot like David Cameron being president. So that is a good argument. But I just think if you believe in a country and you believe in the following, like everyone should be created equal, everyone should be treated equal, no one's better than each other, and we strive for a culture where we all treat each other equally. We can't have that and then say, oh yeah, but that family, they're descended from God.
Yeah.
They're better than everyone else. And that's how the Queen's got a power from divine provenance from God. I don't believe in your fucking God. My God, I'm a Zoroastrian. I'm Iranian. We worship fucking fire. Unless that bitch starts lighting up on fire, I got no fucking allegiance to her. Why is she the Queen? So for me, that whole family needs to, wrap it up now. Wrap it up. She don't bring no money in for tourism. We'll keep Buckingham Palace. People can visit it. But what's she doing? Nothing.
Yeah, Queen and King, it should be a lottery.
Yeah.
I keep saying it should be a lottery. Everybody, you buy a ticket and you get to be king or queen for a year.
Could you imagine that?
We'd have
you have those lotto louts who win the lottery. Can you imagine that guy who turned his garden into like a dirt bike track being king?
Yeah, I'd respect that. I'd respect his.
Yeah.
I would pay my allegiance to him.
I'd pay my TV license if that happened.
Yeah, I want to see some crazy guy from a council estate turning up and he's got to knight these people, and everybody's like, "Oh, is he going to cut their heads off? Is he going to knight them?"
Leo, are you pro monarchy now, Leo? That you're anti SNP and stuff.
Well, the weird thing is, like right wing people, they all seem to be in favor of the monarchy, and I'm a conservative, so I believe in if we're going to change stuff, we've got to think it through, and it's all got to be done nicely and stuff. And, we should conserve our institutions. So I'm kind of in two minds about it. On the one hand, it represents stability. And I think the Queen's been, quite a good figurehead and stuff. But on the other hand, all this, there's so many snouts in the trough, like Princess Eugenie and all these fucking millions of them. You know what I mean? And also Harry and Meghan being the wokest dicks in the universe. We've already got enough celebrities. I think we should, maybe it should be a lottery, but it should be for the real national treasures, like John Lydon. John Lydon can have a go. Mick Jagger.
You know what it should be? I actually think, because I agree that I think the traditionalism of the Queen on the money and the stamps, I like that. So they can stay the king, the Queen, but they just get no money, no funding. she gets given a fucking council house, starts the same as everyone else. Like, you can be the queen, you can have that, but you're not getting all these millions and millions to fix up Buckingham Palace while there's genuine people who need the money. And like you said,
You get travel card. That's it.
Yeah, she gets a freedom pass, same as everyone else.
Yeah, she's old enough to get a freedom pass.
She doesn't travel before 9 a.m. She doesn't travel before 9 a.m. though. She gets an old person's freedom pass. Don't be clogging up the tube at 8:55 with slow on the platform wandering around. No, she uses the thing after rush hour, not during rush hour. I'm not having that. Why the fuck is Eugenie here? Why is that bitch getting money? Leo makes a good point.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice? These fucking Disney characters, they're getting millions. Like, what the fuck is going on in this country?
Like, I'll pay for the queen. It's like if I'm having a party, yeah, you can come, but like you're not bringing your fucking extended family and they're drinking all my beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
don't
you've got one invite.
These hanger-on C-list royals. Who the fuck are you? Princess Margaret. That bitch has never worked a day in her life.
If we don't get a bank holiday, if we don't get a bank holiday when they die, they don't get money now.
Good point.
I don't know none of these people.
Exactly, that's the whole point, Nico. The only one you know is the Queen, and we'll say, fine, give her the money, but I ain't paying for what? Andrew, what the fuck has he ever done?
I know him.
A lot.
Oh, not Andrew, the other one, Edward. He's the most. Edward's so useless he can't even be a paedophile. What's he doing? Nothing. You can't even picture him. He's the only one who's still got his hair. Edward, what are you? Actually, he's got the. You know, you say I wouldn't want to be. I would want to be Prince Edward. That guy, no one knows who he is. He's walking around living in a castle. He's got money out of his eyeballs. He's got and he's got a protection detail. Someone will protect him. He's got the best job ever.
I gotta look him up now. Who's this guy?
Exactly, Nico. Exactly, and we're paying. We paid him like 50,000 a year to fly privately around the thing.
Yeah,
then
it's
they
like
say,
when the Queen goes, it's going to be like, you know, when a band like Queen, for example. So Freddie Mercury dies, and then they get new singers in, like they had Adam Lambert or something. And nobody fucking knows who the new singer is. Like when Queen go to a tour, Adam Lambert singing, nobody knows who that is. That's the same. When the Queen dies, they're just going to be left with ones that nobody knows. Well, it's going to be Prince William. I guess people know him.
Imagine how shit a pound coin will look with Prince Charles on it. It's got a shit side profile, man.
That'd be the most depressing money. I wouldn't want to tuck that into a stripper's G-string. Some like wrinkled old saggy face of Prince Charles. Man, nobody wants that tucked into their arse crack.
Also, there was a retrospective on Prince Philip, and they showed when he nonced on the Queen, so it runs in the family because he pulled her when she was 13. But I have to say, when the Queen was younger, she was pretty fit.
And also, that was like 100 years ago. So it's kind of, you can't really compare. And everybody died when they were 17. So you couldn't wait for people to come of age before you hit on them. That's why Prince Philip hit on the Queen when she was 13.
To be fair, let's be honest, though. The royal family weren't dying at those younger ages. They had a normal lifespan. So he is just a nonce, but whatever.
But aren't they related or something? Though aren't they cousins or something?
They're third cousins. They're third cousins. So their great grandmother was the same or something like that. But that apparently isn't that big a deal in Norfolk.
Oh yeah, that's fine. If you're breeding gerbils, then that wouldn't be a problem. You're not going to get any genetic defects.
So my dad's family in Iran, apparently they've got like lots of land and money. Apparently, I've never seen any of it. But anyway, they've got loads of land. So they all marry. They all intermarry. So I was chatting to my dad, and he's like, "Oh yeah, basically we're descendants."
You sure your dad wants this released?
Well, what's he going to do? He's got no fucking clue.
Where's dad worried about that? What?
He basically was like, "Oh yeah, their family's got incest. They all marry their cousins." Because they all marry each other off to keep the money within the families, so you don't.
And what did that lead to? Any sort of like mental health issues or high pitched voices or trouble?
Well, no, because I'm not incestuous because my mum's obviously different bloodline. But
why do you think Darius was on steroids?
Well, listen, let me tell you what it has done is that there's a picture of my dad and his family, and they're literally like photocopies of each other's all the way back. Also, they love Hitler in Iran. They fucking love him.
Darius said that his dad.
Yeah, they love Adolf.
Darius said that his dad shot his toe off.
Yeah, he fell down a mountain and shot his toe off.
That's genetics.
His seventh toe in that foot.
Why are they big fans of Hitler? I don't understand why.
They just like the Iranians just like Adolf Hitler, but they liked him from. I think he had something to do with putting the Shah in power, or he helped keep the power in Iran. They liked him for some reason. I can't remember. I mean, probably hating Israel also helps.
That probably. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
that probably does help.
That probably would be the number one.
But there's many countries in the world where Adolf Hitler, like kids are called Adolf. A lot of African countries love him. They're like, this is little Adolf.
I've got a friend called Adolf. I've got a friend called Adolf. Like, I was visiting a friend in Hong Kong, Chinese guy, and he's the Hong Kong president of the Bayern Munich football fan society, and his name is Adolf Chan. And I got introduced to him by my mate, and I just thought I misheard the name until he added me on Facebook, and I have Adolf Chan, and he's dressed as a samurai in all of his photos. Very weird.
It's
chap.
legal now though to start calling your kids Adolf in Germany again though.
Oh, was it illegal?
Yeah, it was illegal for a time, I think, but now it's legal.
And is anybody doing it?
I don't know. I just read somewhere that it's allowed now, because I think they did ban it for a while.
That'd be like a sign that you need to keep an eye on someone. You know what I mean? It's legal now. Let's fucking yes. This is little Adolf.
What Darius said was true though. In Africa, I think they got a lot of Adolfs and stuff. Then there was that dude, I can't remember which country, from the leader. He said that I love Adolf Hitler. That's what he said.
Oh yeah.
And he said the enemy of my enemies, meaning the white man, or some shit like that. It's a friend of mine, or some shit like that. Yeah, meaning the Jews and stuff.
Yeah.
Who does that joke? Leo, you had that Adolf joke, wasn't it you?
What?
What about a dolphin?
Yeah. That was you?
That was Darren Walsh. Walsh.
How does the joke go?
So he had because Darren used to make these sort of cardboard things and stuff with bits of string. And so he had a picture of a dolphin. He had a string on the back. You pull the string and the dolphin, like a little moustache comes out, and the dolphin's flipper comes up, and it was like a dolphin. Like Adolf in. Yeah, puns are shit. I totally agree with you. Puns are shit. But it wasn't me.
Puns are really
think
bad.
the one I remember was that if your son is called Adolf, the only acceptable last name you can have is Finn, or some shit like that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
it's also a shit joke.
Yeah. I thought that's why I thought it was yours.
No.
Remember when you were the Pun King, Leo? You won Pun Master 2000 and whatever. Then you said, "I'm gonna go back and." You went back again to win, and I said, "Leo, don't do it. You've won. Just go out on top, undefeated." And you went back in it. Declined my good advice and went out to the first round, losing to someone really shit.
Yeah. I mean, just being Pun champion. I was UK Pun champion, and it was fun enough. It was me and Darren in the final, so he was the returning champion. He was the first year's champion. And with this epic, it was the most fun that pun thing's ever been, because normally it's just comedians reading out puns. But me and Darren went totally off piste, and we just, because we used to do pun battles anyway, so we're just battling each other, just going at the crowd, just improvising stuff and what he'd said, and going at the crowd and doing stuff on people in the crowd, and that was fun. But yeah, man, that was so bad for my career, because then all the promoters, I'd phone up promoters and be like, "Oh, can I have a spot at your club?" And they'd be like, "Oh, but they don't like puns here." And I'd be like, "No, I don't do puns. I just did it for that." You know what I mean? But they'd already hung up. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Roses are red.
Do you regret though giving up Punman?
Man, I think if Punman had been picked up by the right people or something, if the comedy industry focused on what's actually funny and what's killing it with audiences and bringing people in at a grassroots level, because Punman was super popular in Edinburgh. Yeah, fuck you, Darius. Wouldn't have been your fucking show either. Fucking HB special.
So you're not going to go back to Edinburgh?
Super popular.
So you're not going to go back to Edinburgh to defend your championship Punman title?
No, man, it's too hard doing Punman, because improvised puns for an hour, and it was just, man, it was so hard. impossible. People would shout stuff out, and I'd do puns based on what they shouted out, and it was like when I was like doing it loads, I could just do it like da 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 da. It was great. But going back now, like you can't do it. You got to be in the zone for it. You know.
Get your pun training in.
Mooch, give me any topic in the world. I'll make a pun on it right now. Show you how easy it is.
Pillows. Nailed it.
One eternity later.
Wow, Darius, fuck me.
Wait.
Really cushioning the blow.
He's gonna try whether you like it or not.
We should do this every week, guys.
What did doctors prescribe when you're depressed?
A pillow.
Pillows.
Why? No, that's what doctors prescribe when you're feeling down.
Pillows.
Yeah, all right. What did doctors prescribe? What did doctor? All right, I've got it now. What did doctors prescribe when you're feeling down?
I don't know.
Pillows.
Oh, duvet. Oh, duvet.
No
duvet.
Pillows. No pillows.
Yeah, but I said, oh, duvet. Duvet.
Pillows.
Like duvet.
Guinness Monster.
Puns are trash. Let's move on.
Ah, man, are the worst.
I'm a pun king, man. I'm good at puns.
Children and idiots like puns.
Let's talk about Luther. The BBC diversity chief said that Luther wasn't black enough. And he's not a realistic character. How you guys feel about that?
I've never seen Luther.
You can't win. Yeah, but you can't win with woke people because they said the Simpsons got in trouble because they said, oh, it's got all these racial stereotypes. And then Luther gets in trouble because they're like, oh, it doesn't have racial stereotypes. It's like, you can't fucking win.
What do you think about it, Nico? You're our black expert on this, so what do you think?
I think it's madness. I think it's like that whole identity politics thing is crazy. What they want a man do be eating chicken wings in the police department, like, or some madness. Like, if you're black, you can do anything. How are you gonna say they got black people that play the violin and to have them stereotype or boxed in because of this idea of what you think black is ridiculous. You know what I mean? There's black people. I think one of the things they were saying is that none of his mates were black. I don't remember Luther hanging out on the block or hanging out, you know what I mean? Like he was a police dude. He was on the job. So I don't know. I think
I haven't seen Luther, so I can't comment. But Nico, you live in England. How many black friends have you got that you kind of hang out with regularly?
Well, how do you mean regularly?
Well, like
in lockdown.
If we were gonna do if we were gonna make Luther into Nico's life. Would we be saying, wait a minute, Nico's not a fucking good representation of a black man because he doesn't hang out with black people?
I would say the most hanging out I do right now in my life is with comedians. Is at my job.
Yeah.
So
okay.
And top secret books, a very varied mix. But I would say my WhatsApp group is the biggest friendship WhatsApp group that I have is all black people. With one mixed dude in there.
So what you're saying so what they need to do then is show Luther's WhatsApp groups that he's a part of.
Yeah.
Just cut through his phone and there's a picture of a dick on it or something.
WhatsApp group. But no,
he's in some anti-vax WhatsApp group.
Gig and come home really at the moment. But yeah.
But I mean, I think the point I'm trying to make is it? Would you say it was a fair representation? Because this is what I don't understand, right?
But I think the whole point of saying that he doesn't represent black culture is ridiculous. Or represent what a black person should be is ridiculous. Because if you're black, they want to pigeonhole you into what they think you should be, which is racist. You black, you can do whatever you want. If he want to play violin, look, that man that played violin at Meghan and Harry Redding, that was a black dude. You're gonna say that he's not a black person because he's playing the violin and doesn't do something that represents black culture? You know what I mean? He's a black guy. He's a policeman. I don't understand what more they want from him. Rather than carry a gun, carry a knife. Like what? You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous.
I don't know. For me, all of this is kind of like that they're trying to play a numbers game, and like if you watch the adverts now on TV, my favorite thing to do is watch adverts, and unless it's a gambling advert or where the guy or something bad, you won't see a white person. It takes them about 10 seconds before they show a person of color. Play the game; it's amazing. So the point I'm trying to make is they're like going, "Oh, there was diversity. This is that." Man, how many fucking white people are on TV in Nigeria? How many fucking white people are on TV in Gambia? Like, I'm Iranian, right? I don't expect to be turning on the TV and seeing fucking Iranians everywhere. One Iranian every 10 shows, maybe that's about right? There should be black visibility.
And no women.
No fucking women. We don't want to see them. It's an insult to us, right? We can't see the women. But the point is, they're denying, like, when I was growing up, I don't think I had any. I grew up in London, right? So I don't know if a lot of these people are from the countryside and they're trying to push their woke politics on everyone else. Maybe they didn't grow up around people of different cultures, but when I grew up, like, everyone was there, and it's way more racist now than it was then. Guaranteed. Just I feel the race in the air.
What you mean?
And
There's more like skinheads, more like people shouting abuse in the street.
The racism now is changed, and it's more disingenuous, and this is for your own good. You're not smart enough as a black person to know that you should be doing this. You should be doing what we said, and Luther should only hang out with black people. For example, they put stereotypes on people in the aid of trying to help them. So like, what's your mate with the Afro called?
Calvin Robinson.
Calvin's called an Uncle Tom or whatever they call him because he thinks different ways.
The abuse he gets. So like a Black Lives Matter charity. I can't remember what it was. Was it the Race Trust or something? But like, you know, a sort of ostensibly a sort of woke charity that should be standing up for black people. Called him the House N-word. I mean, I can't say the word because I'm white, but like, you know, man, in a tweet they called him the House N-word, and it's like, what the? And they think they're the good guys. They're not like. I mean, the thing about woke racists is they don't know they're being racist. At least, you know, the National Front, these guys, you know, with skinheads and stuff, they're not thinking that they're trying to be good or trying to do. They know in themselves that they're bad and they're being racist. But
good
when
old
woke people are
fashioned
racist, they think they're being good.
That's what we want. Good old fashioned racist. Just put your racism on wear it on your sleeve. Be racist if you're racist. It's the best video about this.
That you're being racist. Yeah.
Ryan Long's video.
They got this idea of, that's what the problem with the identity is that they have this like cutout of what they expect you to be, who they expect you to vote for, and you should never change from any of these things, never deviate from any of these lines. And if you do, you're Uncle Tom, you're a house nigga, you're this, blah blah blah. And
Nico's allowed to say that.
And that's a problem, because then you're saying that every black person is this and should be this and should do these things, and that's racist, you know. So it's
it's reducing people down from, you know, because everybody's a complex mix of, you know, background and culture and what they've done themselves, and like skin color and, you know, your sort of you know, ethnic background is like a part of that. But like, you know, everybody's totally different. You know what I mean? So like this sort of collective thinking where everybody, you know, you reduce someone down to just like a set of immutable characteristics. It's like, oh, this is their skin color, this is their age, this is their gender, all the rest of it. Like, and said, you know, put them in a box. I don't know. It just seems it's totally against the whole. The sort of liberal ideals of sort of everybody being an individual. You know, I think we should get back to that. And that's what wokeism seems to be fighting against.
I do quite like stereotypes, though. I think people sort of brush them off a bit too quickly. I think they kind of, it's kind of your experience of things. And I'm not saying negative ones, but
Scottish people are cheap.
You're saying you're trying to justify your racism, Mitch.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But as long as you understand, it's not everyone, but it's kind of the majority.
Sometimes I think stereotype. Listen. I think sometimes
Is this
people
my
try
love
to
dev
pretend.
moment? Am I?
No, people try to pretend stereotypes aren't true, but
That's
some
what
of
I'm
them
saying.
are
That's
true.
what I'm saying. Like there are some stereotypes that are true, and as long as they're sort of reinforced with a bit of fun, and you kind of know that okay, cool. Not every this race is doing that, or every that race is doing that. It's just a bit of fun sometimes.
Scottish people are cheap. That's a
Yeah.
stereotype.
Irish
And
people are
it's true.
drunks or
I'm cheap.
whatever.
What can I
Well,
say?
you
I'm
know how
cheap, but
bad it
actually
gets. Let me just say just how bad it is of how cheap Scotland is. If you go to the chip shop, they don't even let you put salt and vinegar on the chips yourself.
So what they're
Why?
like? They
They
measure
don't.
it out.
They put it on. They put it on for you. You're waiting. I went to the chip shop. I don't usually eat chips, so it's a treat, right? And I like to put the salt and vinegar on
What, are you
myself because I
7?
know.
Are you
Fuck
7
off.
years old?
Yes. Listen, if I bought fish and chips, just give me the salt and vinegar. Let me do it myself. Why are you?
Yeah.
What? You can't. I can't be trusted. I know
But
how I like
that's
it.
not
You
a
won't put
Scotland
enough
thing,
on.
though.
That
My
is a
chip shop
Scotland
down
thing.
here in Tunbridge Wells does that.
Well, you should kick off,
I don't
Nico. It's a
understand.
goddamn disgrace.
I don't understand
acting
why they
like
do
this-
that. Because like anytime they do that, they put on too much salt for me. So they're actually costing themselves money. At the end of the year, their salt bill is going to be through the roof. And I've had too much salt. You know what I mean? They should just let you, because if you measure it out yourself, you put on, well, I personally will put on less salt. But something else they do in Scotland that I don't like, they don't have proper brown sauce. They call it salt and sauce. And it's like they water down the brown sauce with vinegar. And they say, like, do you want salt and sauce? And then it's just like, honestly, it's like the runniest diarrhea of brown sauce. Like no,
Scottish people
they
love it.
squirts it all over. Man,
They
it's
do that down here too?
watered down brown sauce.
Nah, I don't think they have it in London.
Some Scottish delicacies are good
they
though.
put water in all the sauces to make them last longer in some places down here.
They
This is a
water down the
deliberate
vinegar.
thing. This isn't like, when you nick some whiskey out your dad's drink cabinet and have to fill up the whiskey bottle again, and then like the next week he's wondering why he's not getting drunk off a whole bottle of whiskey. Like this is deliberate. It's a known thing. They call it salt and sauce. Salt and sauce in the chip supper.
Yeah, well, they ruined it anyway. It's
I like
just
the
let me
munchie
put my own
boxes.
thing in.
Munchie boxes can stay. We need more munchie boxes down in England.
What's a munchie box, Mooch?
Oh, you don't know what a munchie box is?
My body is a temple, Mooch.
Yeah, you're eating fish and chips. So a munchie box is like
Cheat
a pizza
day. Cheat day.
a pizza box of delicacies. So they have pakoras, doner meat, chicken, and then like coleslaw and stuff. And it's just a cacophony of heart attack food. It's great.
That's a northern thing,
And it's
man.
all in a pizza box, so
Yeah.
like it's very unstable. The whole thing can just fall apart. And like if you're drunk and you're carrying a munchie box in one hand, man, that's going on the pavement.
They've got like a
What's
Liverpool
it-
version.
What
as well.
is in there, Mooch? I missed it. What's in there?
Well, I think each
Everything.
munchie box is kind of unique to the kebab house that you're going to, but they'll have doner meat, they'll have chicken doner meat, they'll have skewers, they'll have a pizza, they'll have pakoras, because a lot of the kebab houses are sort of Indian run up there, aren't they? I'm not.
That's racist. That's a
Yeah, I'm not
stereotype
getting
right
involved
there.
in this.
Well, it's
Not
kind of like
after how you said you
it's
love
like
stereo.
every
Yeah,
every
Mooch,
chip
stop
shop,
being racist.
every fish and chip shop in Liverpool is kind of also a Chinese. It's
Whoa,
just kind of-
whoa! All right, whoa!
This is true. These are facts.
Mooch is
well,
going on
no,
his Hank tour soon.
yeah.
Apologizing to every
Listen,
Chinese person.
open up your.
That's a lot of apologizing, man.
No, I've learned my lesson. I'll never apologize, especially for just stereotypes. No, but like it's in the munchie boxes in Liverpool are different. They're a bit more Chinese orientated because the people who own the chip shops are they also have Chinese chip shops. It's a fact. Go to Liverpool.
So do you get those? What do you call it? That
Whoa,
sweet
whoa,
and
you can't
sour
do that.
chicken balls. It's like deep fried.
pork balls or chicken
What?
balls?
You did the
Yeah,
Nazi
yeah, yeah.
symbol.
And it comes with jam. I'm sure they don't eat it in China. It's basically like sort of deep fried batter with jam.
Hang on, I'm gonna get these up on the screen.
I went to China once, briefly on the way to
What
Bali.
happened?
They like stopped us and took.
I
us-
went to
like,
Wuhan.
They put us through like some really.
Leo, I like the way you said that.
Should we answer the questions we've got from our loyal fan base?
I thought we had another
Yeah.
topic. isn't it?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the other topic.
What's the other topic, Leo?
So the Black Lives Matter founder. Oh yeah, I was in Wuhan, by the way. I was in there. I was in Wuhan, October like the 30th or something. So probably
Eating
right when
bats.
somebody was eating that bat or getting. Apparently, it came from a laboratory because they'd sell in the medical testing laboratories in China. They obviously you're supposed to burn the dead animals after they've been tested on because you know what I mean, they've had viruses and stuff in them. But the lab workers were making extra money by selling all these dead animals to the market. So people are buying all these experimented on animals and eating them. So and that's how the virus got from the lab to the
Chinese
population.
munchie box.
Yeah, the Chinese munchie box, virus box. So the Edinburgh Fringe is coming back. Did we talk about that? Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
Briefly, we touched on it. We talked about you potentially going. I tried to segue into it, but we got distracted.
Are you gonna do it?
Right.
I might do Hate and Live as a one-off show. I wouldn't bring a show up.
Yeah, that'd be good. Doing Hate and Live as a one-off show. I don't know if I'd want to. I think Edinburgh's gonna. It was on its arse anyway. It was. Everybody got too greedy. All the landlords, all the venues, everybody got too greedy.
But isn't
your
Scotland
PR trying to charge you thousands?
Isn't Scotland?
We should do a live recording of this in Edinburgh.
It's a good idea.
I'm not sure the hate crime bill, which Leo has done well not to mention this pod.
Leo, tell us about the hate crime bill.
I don't think that will be permitted to do it.
And Darius hasn't said imperceptible yet.
Listen, when I say imperceptible, I'll say it so imperceptibly you won't even notice it coming.
You know the hate crime bill. You know one of the mad things about
Here it is.
But you can't call someone a tosser.
Can't call someone.
No, you can't. Literally can't. You can't call someone a tosser. You can't call someone a tosser because any sort of mocking of sexuality is discrimination against somebody based. So autosexuality is a recognized sexuality with its own flag, and it means somebody who's attracted to themselves and has sex with themselves. So calling someone a tosser is mocking their autosexuality, and you go to jail.
You said this in the last episode, Leo.
Ah.
Why don't you go and say that in Scotland and see if you actually go to prison?
Well, obviously I wouldn't go to prison, but I'm not going to get very far in my political career if I say, oh yeah, the hate crime bill probably won't affect you. That's really going to rouse people to action. Thing is, it really could affect people. I think people are sleepwalking into this, man. It criminalizes private conversations in your own home, and everyone's got Alexa and Siri sitting there listening. So, the government, they do it in China. They'll fucking do it in Scotland.
The Chinese will probably do it in
Alexa
Scotland.
can't understand their Scottish accent. They're safe.
Did you see that?
Well, yeah, when I try and subtitle my YouTube videos using YouTube's automatic subtitler, man, it comes up with some weird languages that it thinks I'm speaking. It came up with Korean once, and another time it came up with German. So all the subtitles are in fucking squiggly Korean writing or German.
I wonder what they said in Korean.
Don't know. Definitely wasn't what I was saying. I don't want you to have a guess, Mooch, because I know it'll be racist.
In news today, one of my idols has passed away. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff. He was one of the king of the Ponzi schemes. He made billions from a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, he died today.
No, ages ago.
No, he died today. He died in prison.
Did he die today?
Yeah. He made off like a bandit. Well, he's dead now.
Was he in prison when he died, or did he?
He's a king of scams.
King of scams, baby. Ponzi.
He would have had a good one for the podcast.
Yeah.
He's what scam have you got, Bernie? Get lots of Hollywood celebrities to invest in your pyramid scheme, and then leave Kevin Bacon penniless, so he has to do adverts for phone companies in the UK.
Oh, is that why did he rinse Kevin Bacon?
Oh man, anytime you see a Hollywood celebrity in some shit advert for sausages in the UK, it's because they lost all their money in some stupid investment or Ponzi scheme, probably recommended by Darius. Darius like, yeah, you should buy this nano coin. You should buy this.
Wow. Had you
get YouTube vanced.
had you listened to me from episode 1 and invested in Bitcoin, your investment would now be at £47,000 as today's height. That's how much it is. So you would have been laughing.
What was it when you said to invest in it in episode 1?
39,000. So it would have gone up if you'd had 39,000. It would have gone up whatever percent that is. That's almost a 10% increase. So yet again, my brilliant financial advice pays dividends. I told Leo to invest in Ethereum when Ethereum was like £30 a coin. I said, buy it. Even I bought it. And he went, oh, I'm not buying that. It's tulips, right? I said, just buy Ethereum. It's worth it. No, tulips. I'm going to invest in Rio Tinto. If you'd invested your fucking Ethereum today, one coin, when I told you it was 30 quid, one coin today is £1,700 as of today. It's just broke.
Why didn't you tell me to invest in it?
I did. I said it to you about a million times. And you kept on going on about tulips when it's tulip mania.
Yeah, so like basically back like 100 years ago or something, tulip bulbs. There's this like bubble in tulip bulbs,
Holland.
Which in Holland, yeah. But obviously they've got some sort of value because you grow a tulip from it. But it became a speculative bubble, and then like tulip bulbs were changing hands for like thousands of pounds, and obviously there's no basis in reality for that. And it's the same with like Ethereum and stuff like that. Nobody's using it to pay for anything. There's no like nobody's making money off it. I invested in Rio Tinto.
No one's making money off Bitcoin.
There's no inherent value to Bitcoin apart from I guess it's
£47,000 worth of inherent value.
Yep, but that's not inherent value. Rio Tinto, they dig fucking iron ore out of the ground and like send it to China where it gets turned into things.
If you want to talk about what do you call it when something's scary and it's coming in the future?
See, this is why I don't accept financial advice from Darius. Listen
Shut up, because this is the point I'm going to say is China have just developed, and I don't know what the word I'm thinking of right now. Have just developed their own.
Imperceptible.
It's imperceptible. They've just developed their own. They've just developed their own Bitcoin, basically. But this is what they do. They're going to start paying all the people in this Chinese digital currency. But here's the scary thing about it. Currently, it's going to be pegged to the yuan. So it's going to be basically digital yuan. It's going to have a time limit on it. So the Chinese government will be able to tell people when and how to spend their money or you lose it. So they keep on putting their savings back in. So they're going to make all the Chinese savings in this new digital currency, which will have could have expiry dates on it. It's just come out this week. This is and then obviously like the UK banks looking to go, oh, this is a great idea. Let's see if we can do that for ourselves, which leads into vaccine passports, which I'm totally against. Mooch, are you for or against?
You've been watching a lot of David Icke.
Oh, have I? Remember last year when everyone was like, no chance there'd be any vaccine passports. Now it's like, oh yeah, well obviously there's going to be vaccine passports. Remember last year when people were going on about, in fact, Leo, were going on about chips in the fucking vaccine. Oh, that's bullshit. Just 2 days ago, they put vaccine chips out now to check for COVID.
No, that's
always an excuse.
They're not putting chips.
Always an excuse.
They're not putting chips in the vaccine. They are.
Darius is just upset with all the chips.
Yeah, they're not putting enough salt and sauce in his vaccine chips.
I was upset with. I was for vaccine passports but I didn't really understand what they were. I thought it was like, right, you've got the vaccine. I thought it was like a stamp in your passport. I just didn't really read up on what they were. And I just went with it as like a Ron Seals thing.
So it's a separate thing. I thought they'd just give you a bit of paper or a card that says, I've had the vaccine. And it's like, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's not
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, exactly.
It's disingenuous use of the language. They use that because what it actually is an ID card that you will need to go anywhere, buy anything. And the thing is, all these conspiracy theories, everyone was laughing at them. What happens is they start coming true, and then people are like, oh, yeah, obviously that's always what's going to happen. I think a lot of people owe Tony Moresi an apology, and that's what I want from this podcast, an apology for Tony Moresi.
Who's Tony?
Just say sorry to him, Mooch.
Hey up, Tony. I'm sorry.
You might as well start practicing, Mooch. You're gonna be saying a lot of sorries, mate.
I'm not sorry. Fuck you, Tony.
He's super funny guy. Really funny comedian.
Oh, is he? Oh, it's a comedian, not like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh no. Well, he is a conspiracy theorist.
Both.
Yeah, he's both.
Yeah.
What's going on with NFTs, Darius? Tell us about NFTs. Are they still Making money.
NFTs is, if you want to talk about something with no inherent value, they take some like you could put a clip out, you can make it yourself. It's basically you're just sending someone a clip and you're ascribing it a value, and then it makes it money. So I know what Leo
Are they
means.
still making money now, or that's cooled off?
I mean, I think it's still making money. You can make your own NFT. It costs about £60 though to make one.
Yeah.
So you can make, if you've got a funny,
any sort of art. Yeah, you can do it.
Has Leo
Anything.
frozen? I think Leo's
Yeah, what's
frozen.
happening with like it stopped coming out of my it stopped coming out of my
It's frozen
That
at the
that
best
picture of
spot.
Leo frozen
Oh,
could
there
be
you're
an
back.
Ah,
NFT.
it's moving now.
stopped coming out of my thing. Even though like I don't know why it stopped coming out of my Bluetooth headphones, and I can't when I reconnect
Buy
it won't
proper
go into my
equipment.
Bluetooth
Stop being
headphones.
foolish.
Yeah,
Buy
stop
proper
buying cheap
equipment,
shit.
man.
What does this? Do I sound different?
No, you sound like you're in an action film from the Orient, as they used to be, and about 10 seconds later you speak.
Do I sound different?
No, you sound like you. Oh wait, is Mooch? Mooch is now freezed. I thought.
no.
Oh, no,
Mooch
he's
is
joking.
pretending to be frozen.
I can tell he's playing a joke.
If you would have kept it a bit longer, Mooch, I would have bought it.
I was getting a bit tired. I went for a weird pose.
That's how unfit Mooch is. He got tired posing. he got tired standing still.
Have you been back to the gym since the gym's open?
You're not talking to me, are you?
Done to Darius or whoever else goes to the gym.
I haven't been because the gyms are. I'm currently in Edinburgh and the gyms are shut at the moment.
The gym I was looking to
as
join.
well.
The gym I was looking to join, you had to book in your time slot to go to the gym. Which I think
the gym I went to, they didn't even check because I tried my number and it didn't work. Probably because it's like I'm registered to Scottish gym, but I was down in London, so like I went to the pub and I had loads and loads of drinks and I was hammered and I thought, well, I'm going to go to the gym as well. And they just it was so busy, it was totally rammed. But I had a workout and now I'm sore.
What was it like drinking in freedom again, Leo?
You know, it was really cold because we were outside, and I totally forgot that we were going to be outside, so I didn't wear a jumper. And man, there was this like icy chill blowing along Embankment. We're at the Rose and Embankment, and it was freezing. It was absolutely freezing.
Was this on Monday?
That's how much English people love booze, that they'll freeze their balls off to drink a pint. Like, it's just so fun.
Yeah, and it was a free bar as well, which it had to be because it was £6.20 a pint.
It was a free bar.
Free bar.
We had to celebrate the pub's open.
Who's running this business? Because
no, so it's a political thing.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Oh, cheers for the invite.
Yeah,
but yeah, so it was free bar for esteemed VIP politicians like me.
And you got a free cake this week as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't bring it with me. It's in the office.
So I haven't seen this video.
It's good until it goes out of date on the 16th. What date is it now?
14th.
Right, I'll go and get it tomorrow, and then I'll eat it.
So there seems to be more and more YouTubers. So there's another YouTuber who's also running for mayor, Nico Yearwood. I've forgotten how to pronounce his second name. He's a funny guy. He's running for London mayor. Max Fosh, who's the gentleman who delivered the cake to Lawrence, and of course, Mr. London Real Brian Rose. And I watched a YouTube video on him recently. I think I sent it to some of you guys in the group, but it turns out is just a massive fraud. All of his online courses and who would have known?
Well, how did that work? Because you sent that video, but it's like basically anyone who sends a video via WhatsApp needs to understand if the video is longer than 1 minute, it's not getting watched. No one watches these videos, right? So I was interested, but I didn't watch it. But to tell us how his scam works, Mooch?
Well, so London Real was set up years ago by some South African dude and Brian Rose. And Brian Rose was an ex-stockbroker, banker sort of guy, made a shit ton of money and got out. And basically started doing what Joe Rogan was doing, sort of interviewing people, started getting more and more guests, built up the pod, and then ruthlessly, like a banker, cut out his partner, who was running the channel with him. And this guy was kind of cool. He wasn't that interested, but he'd also just gone through like some spiritual journey, come back from some ayahuasca ceremony. So his mind was all over the place. And he felt a bit fragile. He was like, right, fine, I don't want it. London Real's gone on to become quite a big page, even though it seems now that he's buying views and the engagement isn't anywhere near what it used to be. Brian Rose then had an interview with David Icke, pulled off of YouTube because David Icke is problematic or has some problematic views, and then proceeded to start up a sort of a GoFundMe, but not via GoFundMe. It was his own platform where he raised nearly £1 million to set up his own offshoot of YouTube, so to speak. And he's then used that money. He's never ever made that offshoot of YouTube or his own freedom platform, I think was the way he sort of branded it, and has parlayed that money, probably, allegedly, into this campaign for mayor. And he's kind of taking the sort of Trump approach to it and just being quite headstrong. Just it's all about appearance. Say whatever you need to say to get these votes and steal people's money, allegedly.
Allegedly, we know a comedian who stole money.
He was running these courses as well. So yeah, this is where it becomes like that Alfie, what's his face, the We Are Funny project. So Brian Rose was running these courses as well, and people were saying, I don't know what sort of idiot would sign up to some course. Look at Brian Rose. Like, you wouldn't go anywhere near. He's selling a timeshare. He's selling a used car. Man, run a mile. You know what I mean? There's other places you can get your stuff. Go to a reputable dealer, not this weird fucking Spider-Man baddie guy. But yeah, people were getting these courses and like, you know, how to set up a podcast or whatever. And apparently almost all of them asked for, there's some sort of, not a class action, but they all like got together and like campaigned to get their money back for these terrible courses they paid loads of money for. But yeah, there was this guy in comedy he ran We Are Funny project, which was like just in a room in a pub. And then like, so he gave all these open mic. It was every night of the week, so all these open micers were getting like 5 minutes. So they're all delighted that they're getting 5 minutes, even though like, you know, there's no sort of quality control or anything, and there's no audience. And then he ran a crowdfunder to set up. He was going to build everything. He was going to build like a fucking new Hadrian's Wall. He's going to there's going to be the Arc de Triomphe moved from Paris to London and stuff. There's going to be a podcast here. There's all this stuff he was going to build, and he raised like 20 grand. So I mean, probably lunch for Brian Rose. But
he was a mega cunt as well about it. So if you'd ask what happened to the money, he would just delete you or defriend you or like bad mouth you. And I was posting where's yeah, I posted like a picture of Fat Tony from The Simpsons going, "Where's the money?" And he called up my agent at the time, and then she called me saying, "Oh, this," and I said, "Oh, yeah." She goes, "What should I say to him?" I said, "Go back and tell him to go fuck himself. He's an open mic ball bag." And then she was like, "Oh, okay, that's the kind of client Darius is." I said, "He's open mic. Why do you give a fuck about him? He's a fucking nobody, but he's still around, and he stole 20 grand."
Yeah.
Mooch,
a month after he stole it, he posted like pictures of his like, you know, Christmas presents and stuff, and it's like, whoa, you know, somebody's having a good Christmas this year.
Mooch, can you post the clip of Brian Rose doing that stuff?
Oh yeah, I'll edit it in. But there's also Brian Rose. In case you weren't sold on him, there is a video of him with some nunchucks where he's topless, throwing those chucks around like Bruce Brian Rose Lee. He's making the sound effects as well, which is
he's like woo, and he's in boxers or some shit.
He's got a good. He's in shape. I'll give him that. It'd be even more embarrassing if he's like a fat Star Trek sort of fan, something like that. But
yeah, I'd be in shape if I was a psycho who took steroids.
But he's a Bruce Lee fan, so I will
No.
vote for him. You know what I mean? Like that's class.
I was doing a podcast with some people, and they were talking about voting for him. And it's this is not this one, but this is the other thing. So allegedly, he's second. He's the bookie's second favorite to win this election.
Man, he would have paid for those odds as well. He was betting on himself.
That's exactly what's happened. And he admitted in an interview with the Telegraph or the Times that, yes, he's put money on himself, but not enough to move the market. But any bet will move the market. And bookies have come out to say, yeah, this guy has got no chance. And he's basically he's paying money. He's betting on himself to put him into second place.
So who's number one to win it? Sadiq again?
Sadiq, yeah.
Yeah, by a mile.
Who like I only know about Sadiq and like the other sort of outsider sort of like non-traditional party candidates. Who's the Lib Dem, who's the Tory candidate who's there? Because you've got Lorza, your mate, you've got Brian Rose, you've got Max Fosh, you've got Nicola Omelina.
Pastor Nims Abunji.
Who?
Pastor Nims Abunji. So he's from Tottenham. Well, he's not from Tottenham, but like he's sort of based in Tottenham. I knew he was the head of the Peace Alliance. So I knew him when I worked with the police in Haringey and stuff. He was a sort of community spokesman. Although I don't think the community ever asked him to be the spokesman. He's one of these people who just turns up and he's like, I'm the community spokesman. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try being a community spokesman.
Is that like the LCA?
Yeah.
When's the next voting? I'm gonna put myself up for it again. One time I'm gonna take that shit over.
Well, the LCA.
I was inspired by Darius's political career, like applying for LCA positions, trying to get elected into them. Actually, you did pretty well at the last one. You got like a decent chunk of the vote.
I mean, considering it wasn't fixed for me, I did all right.
Oh, there's Lord Buckethead, but he's not Lord Buckethead now. He's changed his
Binface. Count
Binface. Yeah, it's Count Binface or something like that. I didn't realize how much money it costs. £10,000 for you to put your name on the ballot for London Mayor. Which is,
and then you've got to spend another £500,000. Well, if you got it, you got to spend £500,000 to. That's the sort of campaign limit. Whereas in Scotland, like running in the constituency, the campaign limit is 12 grand, which gets eaten up pretty quickly.
Is that what you've got? You've got a 12 grand limit for.
Well, I've got a bit more because I'm running in the constituency and also in the region. So, I've got I can sort of double that.
So what happens if you win? Do we have to call you something?
You're
not mayor. You're not mayor. You're
MSP, member of the Scottish Parliament.
And what are your odds? Where are you in the rankings? What's your odds on winning?
I don't appear on the bookie's odds, which might answer your question.
You think you've got a good chance then?
I think honestly, I've got an outside chance because,
would you still be able to do the podcast if you win?
Oh yeah, in fact, I'll be able to commit more time to it. At the moment, I'm quite busy with campaigning, but once you're on that gravy train, you know what I mean? Then you can kick back, take it easy. Nah. And just in case anybody in Glasgow is listening, I'll work really hard, and I promise I won't break anything.
Are you gonna hire us into your cabinet or for cronies? I don't know what MSPs have, but I want a cushy job, please.
Well, yeah, this is the great thing about voting for me, because I'm a nepotist. Like all politicians are nepotists, but look at my mates, they're all scumbags. So it'll be cheaper.
I'll say something horrific that will get you in trouble.
Yeah, I believe you.
What else have we got to talk about?
We've got to answer the questions. But this is a good question. It comes from Django Unchanged. And he says, if you had to live in any country outside the UK, where would it be and why?
Where would you live, Darius?
Iran, because he owns.
Nah. You know what? I mean, I've lived in America before. I've lived in Argentina. I really like that. I think for standard of life, I quite like Australia. I like Australia's like England, but they're happy. So I like Australia quite a lot.
Yeah.
Sunny, weather's nice. They've got the right work-life balance. They seem to have good money. Whereas if you were to live somewhere in South America, you might be struggling for money and stuff to live there properly if you haven't got some outside job. So I think
Darius
I quite
lost
like
his
Australia.
virginity to a prostitute in Buenos Aires.
Argentinian prostitute. She hadn't shaved her legs. That's another story for another podcast.
All right.
Where would you live? Bali? I wouldn't mind staying in Bali for a while.
Bali's.
One thing, if you lived in Australia, so you could live in Perth in Australia, which is a brilliant place. I was there during lockdown, and just an amazing city, beautiful city, and like you say, the money's good and stuff, so you can travel. And then you're close to Bali, even though Perth is it's really remote from everywhere else. You're close to Bali, so you can fly to Southeast Asia and do shows there. Perth's got a really good comedy club. They've got a festival every year. Man, that'd be a good place to live.
Isn't it Bogan Central though? Isn't like my cousin lives there and he says it's full of Bogans.
Yeah, but it's got like a sort of enough of a sort of cultural side as well that you wouldn't get bored, and also because it's sort of a young, growing city.
Yeah.
It's like in London trying to start up a comedy night or something is tough because everyone's already here. But over there, you could start something up and it would probably work. How about you, Nico? Whereabouts would you live if you weren't living?
I would go and live in a bush somewhere, just in a jungle, and grow up herbs and plants and drink ayahuasca.
Okay, but where?
Costa Rica. In Costa Rica. I'll go
Costa Rica is
Costa Rica.
beautiful.
Leo, when are you coming back to Scotland? When are you going back?
I'm going to be there in a couple of days.
We've got DMT. We can do it when Leo's returns to London, Nico.
That's a point.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm running for Parliament at the moment. Let's not talk about it.
Is
This
DMT
will give you a
illegal?
more egalitarian outlook on life.
DMT's illegal. Jesus
How's
Christ,
it
man!
illegal?
It makes you see lizards. Anything that makes you see lizards is fucking illegal.
Yeah, no, I would go Costa Rica.
I don't know. Probably Spain. Just because I quite like their pace of life. I think anywhere that naps in the afternoon, I'm down with that. And also I'll be surrounded by British people.
You could have done that up until last year. You could have lived in Spain.
I still can. I've got an Irish passport. I can go wherever, and a Lebanese one, but that doesn't do me much good. Lebanon would be nice if it wasn't in the midst of economic turmoil right now. Lebanon's great. It's an Arab country where booze is illegal. You can ski in the morning and sunbathe in the evening. They've got great. They make great wine. The food's great. The women are great. People. It's like it used to be the party capital of the Middle East.
Yeah, didn't they call it the Paris? What's the capital of Lebanon called?
Beirut.
And isn't that meant to be like Paris of the Middle East or something, or have I invented that?
No, yeah, it's where it's kind of where like all of the sort of playboys used to go. All of the sort of Arab playboys, because they couldn't really party and go crazy in their own countries, so they'd all just fly there, live it up, and then fuck off. I think they just do it in Dubai now. I'm sure. Well,
I'd like to go to Beirut.
Yeah, there's some wicked nightclubs there. My mate is over there at the moment. Well, actually, no, he's just come back now. But he's set up a charity there. It's got that one of the biggest populations of refugees in all of the world, and he's out there building ovens to feed them. Go check out the Great Oven. Great little setup he's got there. So yeah, I'd probably say Spain, but I'd also wouldn't mind trying. Like Japan, somewhere like that, just because I've never been, but I don't know if I could commit to living there for the rest of my life.
Japanese food portions are too small.
I could do with that, if I'm perfectly honest. I could do with some portion control.
You were just talking about how much you love munchie boxes.
Yeah, but I'm sure they've got them in Japan. It's just rice.
You get a little matchbox of sushi, just like 2 bits of sushi in it, and that's your munchie box. And
I don't know if you can tell, Leo, but I have a serious problem with portion control. So anywhere where I go where they limit that and it's frowned upon if I eat my own weight in rice, then it's probably a good thing.
Anyway, on that note, should we call it this? Because we're going to have to edit this down. Should we call that Should we call that a date? Well, me, because I want to go and have my dinner now at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm making steak.
I'm surprised the color isn't drained from your face at the patchy quality of this podcast, Mooch.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I've got a busy few days.
No, I've seen allegedly good podcasts that are just as shit as this, and I will name names. I will tell you the names of some shit podcasts you can go and watch. We're just as shit as anyone else. I'd do that at Edinburgh. I'd say if they came to our show and they thought it was rubbish, I'd say, look, if you think this is shit, you need to calibrate where you are. Go and watch this show, and you'll know how shit we are in comparison. They'd come back and say, yeah, you're right. You're just this shit, but not that shit. Now we know.
The brutal honesty. I love it. So do you want to do a proper sign-off or just fade to black?
I think we should fade to black, but do it in a really imperceptible manner.
Yay!
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
All right, see you, everybody.